Well, hello everybody.
Hi.
We are live, and it's Patrick Batty and Marion Herbertson here with another fun edition of Boomer High. How you doing, Marion?
I am very well, thank you, Patrick. Now, the funny thing is, Patrick, I can't see you on the screen, and I don't know whether anybody else can. Um,
Uh,
Let me just.
are you? It should take a
Right.
second to come up on the web page. 1 second. Let's just see.
Okay.
I want to make sure. There it
Yep.
is.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're
Great.
good. We're fine. Now, there we go. We are going, and we're ready to roll. So, how are you doing?
I am very well, thank you, Patrick. Excited about so many good things happening. And of course, just before the call, we were discussing my little trip to London yesterday, where, one of the things that I'm very aware of is that we need to constantly plow into education, mindset, motivation, education, and that kind of thing. It was a brilliant day. We spent it with Ray and Jessica Higdon, and they taught us a lot of good stuff. But I think the highlight of it was that I got to meet some of my team members, some of my great guys. They came along. Obviously, many of them couldn't, but with the ones that came along, we had a great time, and a lot of photographs and giggles and all of that kind of thing. So, yep, events are an absolute must. So, yep,
Well,
that was mine,
we
my little adventure.
we had an adventure yesterday too, not quite as ambitious, but maybe even more fun. We went wine tasting
Ooh,
in. I know all you folks in the United States or around the world may not think of Canada as one of the big wine regions, but we have a lot of wineries in southern Ontario, and so my wife and I went down to it's in the Niagara region, just near Niagara Falls, but there's an area that's about 50 miles wide by 30 miles maybe, and it's pretty much all grapes now and wineries. It used to be fruit farms, but they've switched. So we went down and checked out about 5 different wineries yesterday and tasted a bunch and had some fun and some pretty places, and some are big productions
wow.
and have massive busloads of tourists from around the world coming in, and then others are one we went to. We knew of this winery, and the house, there was an old barn, a winery building, a barn, and a house there, and their tasting room was
Mm,
in the kitchen of the house. It ends up that the lady owns the winery. They've owned it in their family for 200 years, and they just use
wow.
her own. It's her house. They just kitchen for the tasting room during the day, and it's a beautiful kitchen. It's a 200-year-old farm building, but a beautiful modern kitchen. It's the tasting room by day, and it's the family kitchen for the rest of the time.
I-
So we went from one extreme to another, a place that probably had about 500 people in it, to a place that just had Bonnie and I sitting talking to the owner of the winery.
wow.
So fun day.
Good for you, Patrick. Good for you. I mean, wine makes me sneeze. It's really weird. So I have that big problem with it. But you sound like you had a really good day, which is, brilliant.
Yeah, I don't have a big problem with it. Well, it depends on who you ask.
I've never.
Yeah, it depends. It absolutely. My wife may say I do. I don't know. We have wine with dinner maybe 2 or 3
Yeah.
times a week. That's about it. And that pretty much stopped drinking any beer this summer because I'm really trying to lose weight and I'm doing okay. And clearly with me, it was the beer at the end of the day was my issues more than anything
Ah.
else. So, but I'm just at step one of many steps. So anyway, hey, let's get down to business. We wanted to welcome everybody to Boomer High. Um, this is kind of the haven for boomers, baby boomers, and seniors that are looking to make a living online. At least we're hoping to get it to be that way. We've been amazed at the responses we've had um, in the chat underneath our videos, and we've also seen that we've had over 3,000 visitors since we started up this site a couple weeks back. So it's really fun. It's really quite rewarding, frankly, to see the comments that we're getting. And if anybody's new here tonight, please just say hello down in the comments section. And also, if you get to a state where there's a question or two, feel free. So what we do in every one of these events is, for those of you that are new tonight, we typically go through a little bit of a lesson about online business for you, whether you're brand new, whether you're experienced. Marion and I have been both doing this for a number of years now and have been fortunate enough to kind of hit the top 1% or more or better even in the primary business that we promote. So we've been able to do some things right, and we've learned some things, and we've probably done a lot of things wrong, and we've learned that too. Yep. So we try to share as much as we can with the group. So tonight, Marion, what I wanted to do is kind of back up a little bit. We talked last week and the week before. The first week we talked about people kind of having a massive, what I call a massive honking why, a big, big reason to want to have their online business. Yeah. And to really make sure they were clear in their own mind what that big reason was. We as boomers may have vastly different reasons that, you know, guys much younger than us. You know, you see if internet marketing, everybody puts up pictures and images and quotes about, you know, yachts and, you know, Ferraris and massive houses and that kind of stuff. And yet as boomers, I would predict, now if somebody was to give me a yacht, I probably wouldn't turn it away. But I would predict that's not the kind of why most of us all have. At this stage of our life, you know, my wife and I have had big houses. We've had a lot of expensive cars. We've thrown away way too much money on them, and I now know after the fact that it was kind of a pretty big waste of money, to tell you the truth. So having those kinds of things, just going for possessions, is not all that important. Is my camera on? Okay?
Yes, I can see you on the video here, Patrick. Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Yeah, for some reason it's not showing up on my end, so you just want to check. So, you know, boomers may have different whys than other people, but it's good. It's good to know, you know, what it is for you. It's not, in my case, I felt it wasn't good enough to just say, well, I want to make some extra money, or I want to make a lot of money, or I want to make more money. For me, what I had to do is really say, I'm doing this to accomplish something. That something, as well as the satisfaction of starting something from scratch and building it, which is incredibly satisfying. But that's something in my case was I wanted to build my income up on enough so that my wife could stop working. Because I'm kind of what I would call time and locationally independent. I can do this stuff that I do whenever I want to and from wherever I want to. But if my wife is stuck at a regular 9-to-5 job 5 days a week, and frankly it's a lot more than 9-to-5 job, well then we've lost some of that freedom too. I may have it, but it's not like I'm going to go on vacation without her or go live some exotic location for 6 months without her. We want to get it to the point that she can leave that so that we then do have the time freedom and locational freedom to do what we want when we want and that type of thing. Just heading out to a winery yesterday on a Tuesday. She's on vacation this week, so that's the kind of thing we want to be able to do whenever we want to do it, not just when she has that vacation.
Yeah.
And or I don't really want to face another 6-month-long winter like we had last year, purely based in the frozen tundra of Canada. Like we've done. So we want to get some locational independence. So that's my why. So anyway, I went on about that a bit, but I have that set in my mind that I want to do this because of that, as opposed to just because I want to make money, okay? Just to try to get the point across. Now you covered some of the factors that a lot of boomers had as far as fears last week. And then this week what I wanted to cover is a little bit more of the kind of back to basics troubles that we've seen people in our team have, or maybe the average new internet marketer, new network marketer in general. So Marion, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this a little bit. I'll try to keep it fairly brief,
Yeah.
and then I'll ask you then after, so we don't go back and forth because I know there's a lag. I'll ask you to fill in the blanks after I'm done from your experience, okay?
Yes, certainly, Patrick.
Okay, cool. So basically, guys, what we're talking about is an online business where you have to, if you're going to have a business, there generally is something has to be for sale. Now, you can build, we tend to deal with digital products that we are affiliated with for two reasons. One, we don't have to physically ship them. We don't have to physically create them. Or physically ship them, basically. And being digital, it's easy. When people buy them, they can buy them and they can get them instantly and things like that. Second, we don't have to create them because we're affiliated with a company that creates the products. So that's an easier way to go for most people than trying to create your own digital products. I've created my own digital products. I put a lot of time and effort into creating some, as an example, and this was after I knew what I was doing, and I spent months building one product, I'm not going to get into it. I sold all of 10 copies. So I thought I had the greatest idea since sliced bread, and I put multiple months into creating this great idea, and after all that time, I sold all of 10 copies for a grand total of probably about $150. It was terrible, right? So especially for new people into the business, to try to create your own product can really be a time waster, and the chance of actually coming out with something that the world is just clamoring for is fairly rare, right? So what we like to do is talk about promoting products that are already proven that people want them. Okay, and we'll talk more about our products later on. Now, another thing we've seen people struggle with, and well, first of all, first of all, you have to have a product. So we'll put the product off to the side. We'll be talking about digital products. The next thing, really, if you want to simplify the online business in general job, is to get people to see the product. It's as simple as that. If you get a lot of people to see the product and then a certain percentage buy the product, you're making money, right? So you can get people to see the product in lots and lots of different ways. And what we find is people tend to try all kinds of them and then don't also have any consistency with any one. In other words, in our case, some of the products we use are ones created by the Empower Network. Well, you could, post an article about it and write an article about it and then have a link to your product. You could create a Facebook post about it, have a link to your product. You could do things like SEO optimization on articles, and hopefully they rank high in the search engines. And again, somewhere there'll be a link to your product. You can purchase all kinds of different styles of advertising. So there's all kinds of different ways you can go about it. But you can create videos as another example, which is my, in most cases, favorite way. And I mentioned you can run advertising. Well, what we've found is most people don't really ever master one particular technique. That we all become these somewhat limited experts on every, as opposed to a real expert on one thing. And if you become a real expert on one thing, one promotional technique, one that you like or one that you believe in or one that you're good at, and you really, really, really become an expert at it, and then you just do it relentlessly, that generally is a lot better, a lot more likely way to big success than if you're just dabbling at everything under the sun. Now, in some ways, we become guilty of our own products. We have training on all kinds of things. I've trained my team on all, but it wasn't until I saw people struggling a bit that I realized that it was just too much. Right? We've got all the training. That's great. But you get the training, you go through the training, but then decide which way is them for you. Maybe two ways even. If you want to do a lot about one thing and a lot about another thing, figure out which way is the way you want to go and the way you want to become an expert at, as opposed to being just dabbling your toe into 15, 20 different methods. And it's so tempting to do. It's really tempting to do because you're going to, when you get online, you start to become bombarded with all these other trainings, courses, methods, promotions that people are going to tell you that they're going to solve every problem you've ever had or bring you all the traffic or get you at the top of Google and everything. I mean, there's a million new things out there every day trying to grab your cash. But as opposed to becoming a victim and a buyer of all this stuff, it still all comes down to pick your method and then roll with it. And then if you want to buy a product about that particular method, go for it. But don't try every technique that's out there. I've got some other stuff, Marion, but before we go on, would you like to add to that?
Patrick, what you just said about this whole thing of doing too much. I remember when I first started, I was working, so I had a budget to plow into marketing. And I went off like a little shotgun, one of those scatter guns. Because I had nobody to advise me on what to do, etc., I just attempted, like you're saying, a bit of everything. The funny thing is, I actually, about 3 months in, because of my background with marketing and sales, etc., about 3 months into this, I actually stopped and looked at what was working for me. And the funny thing is, even now, when I look at what's working for me, it's almost exactly the same things that worked for me then. And if I'd had somebody to guide me on that at that stage, I would have cut out so much lost time, so much lost money, and I'd have been such a happy bunny. So yeah, definitely very important to keep in mind that you focus on just one or two methods of marketing and become really, really good at that. And then what you do is, for somebody who's actually interested in marketing, Patrick's going to be telling you about, something that is like the icing on the cake for baby boomers and new people, etc. But if you're wanting to market, the big recommendation is choose one or two things that you like, right? For example, Patrick mentioned videos, right? I love video marketing, and that's just relationship building. But if you don't like video marketing, don't feel it's the end of the world. There'll be something else that you really, really like. So pick that, major on it for a little while till you've absolutely mastered it. Then maybe add another bit,
Yep.
And that would be my recommendation, right, Patrick?
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
That's kind of it. I mean, I think honestly, we can take a load off people's shoulders by saying you do not have to be an expert on everything. And I tried. I mean, I tried. There's still some things that I've never been good at, and maybe I will someday. I'll give you an example. Facebook advertising. I've done it many times, but I've never really succeeded. I've never really had a lot of good results from advertising on Facebook. I've tried many times. Now someday I'm going to bear down and really go through some training on it and really, really decide to do it. But right now, I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't really need it most of the time. I'm doing pretty well without it anyway. And I don't want to take my time doing something that I'm not very good at today. I'd rather just amplify and multiply the stuff that I am good at already.
Exactly. Mm.
Right. And so again, it's like we're not trying to get people to do tons of stuff that they don't want to do or that they don't like or whatever. But you do have to get over your fear factor of anything, and you do have to master something if you're going to have some level of success.
Yeah.
A couple other things that I've noticed over the last couple of years is that the world has become a little bit more immune to some traditional internet marketing techniques. That being, the typical marketing approach is you want people. Somehow people are going to see an offer or an opt-in page. An opt-in page being a place where somebody puts in their email and then they're on your list. In internet marketing terms, that list is called an autoresponder, but we won't get into the detail. But the main deal is when people sign up for your list, they effectively are giving you permission to send ongoing communications to them, those being other messages. Now, so many people have burnt that approach so much and so badly
Yeah.
that because they are trying to sell something different to people every other day. I was guilty of it myself 2 years ago. They send too many emails. They send just too much promotion and things like that. They really never establish any kind of real relationship. The fact that the people have seen it and been subjected to it now really for about 20 years, the number of people that first of all use a fake email when they sign into your opt-in, it can be pretty high. And the number of people that open up your emails can also be pretty low these days, much lower than it used to be.
Yeah.
So there's some ways to change that I have found to be a little bit more helpful in one respect, and a massive change to even make it more helpful in another respect. The one way to change it is I typically now, when I send people to my opt-in page, I immediately send them to a personalized video a thank you video from me. So as opposed to immediately sending them to an offer, maybe through like our network, the primary one we represent is Empower Network. Instead of immediately sending them to an offer from Empower Network the moment they opt in, they may have seen that offer many times, they may not, who knows, you don't know. But instead of giving them this hard sales pitch right away, what I tend to do is send them to a thank you page that we call a thank you page, but with a video from me. And I also send 4 or 5 of those in my follow-up emails, each one of them with a video. Okay? Now, underneath the video, I also have a button to watch this video, and that one is the one, like, check this video to see the primary mechanism that I make money. So what I've done there is I'm letting people get to know me before I'm even asking them to look at that video. Once they know me, if they look at that video, maybe there's a possibility they buy it. If not, they're going to get another email from me with another video, with more training. And again, there'll be another button there, watch the other video, and so forth. I've had more success with that style than just sending them to a sales video immediately. Some people would have said, no, you don't want to do that because they might not open your email. You want to send them to sales video right away. Well, you know what? Over the last period of time, I got no sales doing it that way. So I said, I've got a better way. I'm going to give it a try it a different way. I tried it a different way. I've had sales. And I also noticed I'm getting much fewer unsubscribes from my list. Yeah. Because people get to hear from me. People get to, I'm talking to them, but I'm not hearing from them, but they feel like they know you. Anybody who watches us on video, Marion or myself, eventually you feel like you know us. You've heard our voice, you know our thing, we're out drinking wine all day long and crazy stuff. But you know what I mean? It's just a lot more personal than opt in, boom, here's the sales video, buy this. And to me, I think it's a better way to go. Now, finally, a technique that we're about to show you guys later and talk about later on today is one that skips the opt-in process altogether and takes them to a brand new sales video. And we're going to share that with you a little bit later. And we've been doing some testings with a group that we're part of, and we're finding massive success with that. And that technique is about to be unleashed later on. And we'll talk to you about more about that later. But the key is you're not asking for somebody to, in this case, give you your email first. You're going to take them right to this video that talks about a trial of a product first. And then the people that choose to go into the trial are going to opt in. And if some will pay for the trial, some won't. At that point, you have captured an email, but the second thing is a high percentage of people are signing up for a trial of a product. Okay, and that's a different technique. It's not one that I've done myself before, but it's one that this group that we're part of has been testing recently and having phenomenal results. So we're going to be starting to do it ourselves probably this weekend, assume the product is launched this weekend. Is that, I've got that straight. That's how it's working, right, Marianne?
Yes, Patrick. Like you've explained, there's a trial offer which people can go directly to. So they bypass the whole landing page scenario, which is absolutely brilliant. Very out of the ordinary, like you say, and very unconventional. But then, things need to be changed and things need to be kind of cutting edge in order to work. And of course, the other issue with the landing page opt-in rates is that people, they'll just kind of end. I don't know about you, Patrick. I know I've done it many, many times. I've subscribed to something simply because I want to see what's on the inside. So what do? I just put in a false name and, my dog's name at gmail.com kind of thing, and I get to see what's on the inside. Of course,
right.
That's of no value at all to anybody, and this new method is going to sort of eliminate that bit and give us a much cleaner list, which is just so immensely powerful. And then it just leads on to the actual explanation of what this system is going to be able to do. And I'm not going to steal your thunder, Patrick, so you go for it. I'll keep interrupting every 2 minutes, simply because I'm so excited.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Look, there's no big here today.
Go ahead.
So
go ahead.
Well, let's tell folks anyway, because we've got a couple other things to cover tonight. But we wanted to cover, we covered some fundamentals there. What we're trying to get over is the whole scenario where people are just opting in with some junk email address, so they'll never see your offer, or they'll never see your emails anyway. Secondly, by opting in with a junk email address and sending them to a sales page that they may not be interested in, or even if you did it in your follow-up emails, you may be only getting, say you sent 1,000 people to it, and let's say you had, let's pick a number out of the blue, 30% of the people opted into your email. Okay, 30% opted in. That would mean you'd have 300 people on an email list, okay? Now, out of those 300 people on your list in your autoresponder, and again, I don't have any big math here. I'm not going to get into dollars or anything. But out of those 30 people, I would predict, or 300 people, I would predict about a quarter would be garbage emails. Not necessarily bad email address. They may be real email addresses, but they're email addresses that the people never look at.
Yeah.
Okay? So you immediately have 75% of your, or 25% of your list is an email address that no one ever opens. Which, and by the way, when you buy your autoresponder, you're paying for the number of email addresses in the list. So 25% of it is useless, right? Even of those, you're going to find immediately you may get maybe a 50% open rate on your first email, and then it'll go down to 30, and then it'll go down to 10, and then it'll go down to 5, and I've had numbers where it stayed at 5 forever. It just went that, but it's surprisingly low, and you can get those stats in your autoresponder. Well, that means you're paying for this massive list. Gradually, you're paying for 100% of the names on the list, and gradually having 5% of the people open your emails,
Yeah.
right? And you've got to do you have to have an awful big list to make many sales on anything that way. So the process that we're talking about today is assuming, say you sent traffic, again, you bought traffic, instead of having 1,000 people to give you 300 people on the list, you would have 1,000 people see your offer. And theoretically, with the trial and the testing we've been doing, we've been getting 10%. No, what was the percentage on the trial we heard about, Marion, just so I can remember?
Well, it's varied, Patrick, and it depends
Yeah.
on the traffic and that kind of thing. The one
Yeah.
thing I would say is that it was absolutely staggering.
Yeah, it was.
So
Yeah. I think it
it
was
made us take a
10%.
double take.
I'll take a very conservative guess. Say it was even just 10% bought the trial. Okay. So that's not 10% that opted into a list. That's 10% that's actually buying something from you. Okay. That on its own, plus a couple of the upsells and so forth, can actually pay for your marketing.
Yeah.
And then again, we're not going to get into the whole thing today about all the different products and all that kind of stuff. But then when you tie it into the network that we're in and so forth, the actual dollar results can be, pretty phenomenal. And so what we wanted to do is tell you a little bit about it, a bit more, and I'll unwrap what we're talking about. We're talking about a system that is going to be launching, we don't know the exact day, but either this weekend or Monday or Tuesday of next week. And the system's called the iPass 2 business system. And Marion and I have actually been hired, Marion first and then I later on, but have been hired to be coaches for this system. Now that's not what Boomer High is about. We're not purely iPass. We're teaching you guys and helping you guys how to make money. But we're actually coaches with the system. The iPass system, when it launches, has products in it. And those products cost, and I think we're okay to say this, the one is the trial, that's a $7 product. So people that want to pay $7. It's not a try it for free or anything like that. It's $7. So they're going to immediately, the ones that buy the trial, first of all, they're paying for it. Secondly, because they're paying for it, they're typically going to use a real email address because they want to get their receipt. They want to get their login info. They're going to, they want the information that they're going to get in the trial. So number one, they've proven, because they're buying it, they've proven they have a credit card. They've proven they're willing to buy something. They're proving they're using an email address that they're going to hear from you. Okay, and they buy it. After the trial goes, a percentage of the people will stay with the system. And we're not going to quote numbers here, but it's been a pretty staggeringly high percentage. That system, they charge $47 a month for that system, and they pay, depending on the levels you're at, an 50 to 70% commission. So you're going to get let's just keep it simple, say about $25 a month recurring from the people that buy them from you. Again, you get $7 from all the people that tried. You're going to get $25 a month recurring from all of the people that buy the system. They have another product, and again, they will do a much better job when you see this than us. Have another product that's a one-time only product that's $97. Another percentage of people will buy that.
Yeah.
So from all this, you're more than recovering your costs on your advertising. If you did advertising, you're building up a recurring monthly income from the people that have actually joined. So it's really that way. And then the big kicker of this is the system itself will encourage people to join you in the business that they call the profit maximizer. And the profit maximizer with iPass that iPass is using is the Empower Network. So we're in the Empower Network. We like that. We like people when they join iPass, they don't have to join Empower Network. iPass is a completely standalone but accredited product. So accredited by Empower Network as a quality, legal, above board quality solution that doesn't put Empower Net risk and so forth, but accredited with Empower Network, but a standalone product as it is. So people don't have to join the profit maximizer. But as they get into it, they'll see that typically about 60% of the money they make comes from the profit maximizer system. So tonight, we're not here to sell you iPass. What are we going to do tonight, Marion?
Tonight, big drum roll, we're going to give away iPass free. Okay, so
Absolutely.
If you haven't grabbed your free copy as yet, I noticed there was actually, there are a couple of questions here I'd like you to answer, Patrick. One was, there was a gentleman here who didn't actually know what, oh no, sorry, it was Werner. Werner didn't know what iPass was. So Werner, there you go, we've explained that. And there was somebody else who was asking whether, the two of us were involved with iPass and we were going to promote it. So my question is, oh my goodness, yes. But, I'll let you answer as well, Patrick. Yeah, I mean, if you want to explain to people more about how they can get their free accounts and what that will mean long term, that'll be absolutely brilliant.
Well, even before I talk about setting up a free account, why would we even recommend it? It makes the whole process. Many are already in Empower Network. We know that. I mean, you're friends, people in our teams here, and many of you are in Empower Network. What this does is it makes the entire process easier and faster. I don't know what your big why is, but whatever it would be, you can achieve it faster by having an alternative front end to promote that is extremely effective, that you make money when you sell it, that also encourages the people that join it with you, being iPass, it encourages those people to also use the profit maximizer that makes them 60% of money, that being Empower Network. What it does means, frankly, your whole job is to just get traffic to see the iPass trial. By traffic, we're talking people, right? To see the iPass trial. Now, Marion and I will not make a penny from you from iPass. If you happen to join our Empower Network, yes, we would make some money when you do that. But we're not going to make any money from iPass because we're giving you a free iPass account. Next week, we will be selling it. Next week, in fact, I don't know when people will see the video. Next week, to get started with iPass, they'll have to do the trial. In that trial button, the button down below this video, by the time, as soon as it launches, we'll switch over to not be get a free account, it will be buy a trial. Okay? So we're not going to make any money on that, but why we're recommending it is, frankly, your guys have to come here and join us, and we're starting to make a buzz, we're starting to get known. We've had 3,000 people watch these in the last couple of weeks, so we're really excited. We firmly, and I mean really firmly, sincerely believe this will make your job easier.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. It'll make it easier for you. It'll make it easier to do what you have to do. It'll also make it easier for you to make money with the system quicker. So we're not going to give a big lesson on how to set up an iPass account, because the cool thing is all you have to do is hit that green button on the page here, and it's going to take you to the page that you fill in your form and all that kind of stuff. It's not asking you for any money. You're going to get the system for free. Now, if you don't have Empower Network, once you set up a free account, it will show you what to do to set up an Empower Network account as well. Okay? Now, we can do that in a couple ways as well. We can do it through the buttons down below, but I would say the very first thing you should do, if you do not have iPass and you want to get it, set up that free account and then follow the instructions, because they are pretty simple to follow. Okay? Next week, when it launches, it's going to be a whole different back-end system that you're going to see. But we wanted the people that are here tonight to at least get it while we can still give it to you, because next week we can't give it to you, right? Next week we'll make money when people get it, which, you know, we kind of wondered if we should do that or not, but we thought, no, let's give it to people while we can, just to set it up, okay? So we can, right now, we can give it to you. That's our gift to you. You're going to get all of the products. I said they have a $7 product, a $47 a month product, and a $97 one. You're getting all of them. There is no upsell to iPass from you. Now, if you don't have Empower Network, though, you'd be crazy not to set up an Empower Network account too, because this will make it a breeze, because you will be selling iPass all day long and Empower Network all day long. The other cool thing is when iPass launches, you actually buy the traffic to come to your site directly from the iPass system. They bought massive volumes of traffic, and you can buy a share in that. There's literally nothing to set up. And the economics of that, whereas I'm not into the whole thing, the tests so far have been amazing. In other words, you spend this much, you make this much. It's like a lot. You're making a lot more than you're spending for the traffic. I'm not going to quote those numbers until I've done my own results. I've got my own results, and our traffic will be going out this week. But you can get traffic right from the launch if you want, in advance of the launch. And we'll maybe put a link to that on our homepage later too, Marion. Maybe buy traffic or something like that. We'll put another button up later on for that.
Good idea.
But anyway, we wanted to give that because, one, we think, especially for baby boomers, it's not a technical solution here. This is simply a sign up. You're going to get some really good quality training. Even the little free system you're getting now has some. More so the production system, when it's released, you'll be floored. And Marion and I have reviewed all that training. And you'll be floored with how good it is. Amplified, they make the entire process. Because the end result is, what it is you set it up, and if you can then, they're going to teach you how to generate free traffic if you want, or you can buy paid traffic if you want to kind of go big fast.
Yeah.
And that's totally pressuring you one way or the other. It's all a matter of your why. You know, do you want to make money really quick, or do you want to play around with it for a while and get used to it and, you know, dabble a little bit? But that's totally up to you, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. But in my case, I bought 1,000 clicks of traffic that is going to go to that offer, and I expect from that 1,000 clicks, I'm actually going to make a lot of sales. I'll make a lot of trial sales, a lesser amount of monthly sales, a slightly lesser amount of $97 upgrades, and a slightly lesser amount of Empower Network sales. But the end result of it all is the income from that far, far, far exceeds the expense of the number of clicks. And on their traffic, I bought 1,000 clicks. That's a big number. But they can, I don't know what the smallest number was, Marion, maybe 100 maybe or something like that?
Yes. Yeah. It starts from 100 and then works up from there.
Yeah. So to me, I love it. Why? because frankly, I'm not going to be at my PC long doing that. I'm not going to be playing on Facebook. I'm not going to be writing a million blog posts. I'm sending traffic to an offer. And I'm then get to spend my time on any of those I want to do, but I'm not desperate to make sales from that other stuff. The other stuff that I'll do, purely gravy. And I do like doing videos, and I do like teaching my team, and actually will be coaching iPass members. There is a coaching level that people can subscribe to. Well, if you become an iPass Black Card member, you can actually hire coaches that will not just coach you, but they'll coach everybody that joins, so you can live a passive kind of absolute best of all worlds kind of style. You can basically make a lot of money, but not have to trade a lot of people yourself, right? And that's the deal. Now, we are going to be doing some of that training, so we won't have some of the freedom that our customers do, but we get to do that, frankly, as many or as few hours as we want. We've got a very flexible, we've got a lot of coaches, and we're very flexible on our schedule. So there's always going to be coaches up and running, but they're kind of up and running times they choose. So we're not like to a 9-to-5 coaching deal or anything, but we may do it. We may do it. But the cool thing is, it's a very passive thing. Now, we've got another thing I want to mention below that on our homepage. And I'm sorry to transition so quickly, but we kind of got onto that. So set up a free account. If you hit the free account button there later when we're done, that'll take you all the instructions to do it. And whoever sent you to our page will be the sponsor to you in iPass. So that
Patrick, can I just
yes.
Sure. Just a couple of things here. One of the things, and I know you only said this because it was just a slip of the tongue, really. When you mentioned that people will be getting, earning commissions on the iPass products. That would be 50 to 70% commissions. So on the $7 product, you won't actually earn the entire $7. You'd earn the commission on that. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick. I know you know that anyway.
No, maybe if I misstated it. Yeah, fair enough. So you get 50 to 70% commission.
Yeah.
On that, or on the $47 a month or whatever. Power Network pays out. Their comp plan's separate. They pay 100% commission on certain sales and that. And with that, you can earn up to $2,000 on a sale. Now,
just two more little things to interject there, please, Patrick.
Sure.
One is, if anybody is concerned that their sponsor will be affected adversely in Empower Network, because what we have the situation of is that sometimes people are finding out before their sponsors find out, about iPass, and then we want to make it very, very clear that the whole upline is maintained with total integrity in Empower Network. So even if you signed up for an iPass account and your sponsor didn't have an iPass account as yet, your account will be linked via the API to your sponsor anyway, so he or she would still get the pass-ups and all of that. You just want to make clear, because our intention is not to step on anybody's toes. Okay,
absolutely
we really don't like doing that.
Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, absolutely.
No, you're welcome.
And if you're not in Empower Network, your sponsor will be the same person who sent you here. That is also going to be your iPass sponsor then too, whoever that would be.
Exactly. All nice and tidy.
It's very cool. It's very exciting. Frankly, we believe this really leads us to the more passive kind of lifestyle with this, and much simpler, we think, for a lot of baby boomers who, in many cases haven't been dealing with technology like you and I have now for a few years, but a lot of others have not. So So the next thing on our homepage is the thing there that says learn how to produce. Now what this is a new system, kind of a very first level training that Empower Network has produced that's actually valuable for anybody in any network at all. Doesn't matter what kind of network marketing business you may be in, even an internet marketing business for that matter. If you want to learn how to recruit, how to really get good at recruiting and bringing in people in a fairly easy way, this is brand new training that's never been issued before. And this, frankly, is the cheapest, least expensive product that Empower Network has ever put on the market. And I think as far as value for the dollar, it may be almost one of the best values. This is a $17 product. You can buy access to this training for $17. It says learn how to produce. What you're going to get from that is you're going to get 6 hours of training. 6 hours of training with, first of all, David Wood from Empower Network, some of the other biggest leaders in Empower Network, teaching you their kind of insider secrets on recruiting. It's 6 hours all in one day, and it's $17. They will also, because I believe in telling people the entire sales funnel rather than surprise them, there's also an option where you can have everything broken out into separate modules and presented to you along with workbooks and things like that. And you'll have those forever. And I think they're charging $27 for that. So the very first product, the $17, is a live stream that goes this Saturday for 6 hours. If you also want to have all of the live stream broken up into separate components and provided to you forever in case you may not be available all day Saturday, that's $27. I bought both of them myself. I know because I'm not going to be here part of Saturday, and I wanted to get the training. So it's $27. Finally, there's 2 other products that are the back end of this. Totally up to you if you get them or not. One is it's called the Top Producer Formula, the main product. It's the main offer that they're launching. Now, with all of this stuff, you don't have to have the Empower Network blogs. You don't have to be an affiliate. If you're not an Empower Network or not, totally up to you. If you are, you can get them in your back office. If you're not already, you can just buy these products standalone. Okay? The Top Producer Formula is an entire fully modularized course with workbooks in every module. I can't remember the number of modules there are. I think it might be about 15 or 16 modules on everything in much more detail. So you've got a 6-hour course, then you have a modularized course with a lot more detail. And that system is $297. And then finally, there's what's called the Top Producer VIP coaching, and that's where it's more of a group coaching over, I think it's about 6 weeks. And you're going to have real coaching online in a group format, from the biggest leaders we have, and that is a $497 product. Okay, so all good stuff. It's totally up to you, your budget, your commitment, how big your why is, how fast you want to succeed. Totally up to you. But to get started, at least we recommend everybody get the Top Producer live training for 6 hours of live training for $17. We hope you get more than that, but that's up to you. Okay. Now, Marion, we've gone on a little long. Why don't would you mind taking a few minutes and for people that are new here today, talk a little bit about the Fast Start Kit that is the 3rd button on our page?
Yes, certainly, no problem at all. Just give me 2 seconds, Patrick. I'm just typing a little response here.
Okay.
Right. In fact, I'll post this a comment and I'll also answer it in that regarding start date. Right. Now, We are really very close to testing. Today we've spent all day testing our phone systems, making sure all of those are working properly. All sorts of things have been going on. We're learning. Oh goodness, so much. It really is like sort of boot camp for us. So we're being polished to perfection. All right, and we can't wait to get started. But we don't want to give any kind of false information or anything of that sort. What I will say is that they are looking to start running test traffic on the system this week, and this will be towards the end of the week. But don't forget, there's a lot of excitement going on already with, the top producer formula, all of that happening on Saturday and things. So personally, I would kind of hope that nothing would start this week because it'll all kind of get very muddled, very confusing. So I personally would hope that it'll be next week before we see anything on the iPass 2 front. Okay, but again, like Chris Jones has always said, and I really admire him for standing up in, standing strong in the face of pressure. He is not going to launch this thing till he knows it is working 100% smoothly, and then it will just be launched to the crowd, and he'll send us a video saying, "Gates are open, get on with it,"
Yep.
So
Yep.
it'll be great fun in that respect. Okay, so that's that there. Now, regarding the other product, right, the Fast Start Kit. Now, the Fast Start Kit is actually a very, very clever a package that's been put together where it serves both online and offline. Okay, and what we find is that usually with baby boomers, if we've ever done any kind of network marketing, etc., it's been in the old style, where we've had party plans and, house meetings or hotel meetings, and we've given out leaflets and that kind of thing. Well, with this package, it's $197. Again, you've just got to click the link below, and if you've come here through your sponsors link, then the sale will be credited directly to them, right? So it's $197, and what you get, it's a little bundle of things. So you get access to the blogging platform, okay, which is brilliant. You then also get access to the inner circle. Now, both these products together give you $125 of residual income per month when you then sell them on. Okay. Now, obviously, there are kind of merchant fee accounts and bank charges that are deducted from that amount. Normal business expenses, okay? But that's monthly residual for you. You also get 20 DVDs, okay? They call the Fighting the Forces of Evil DVDs. Absolutely brilliant. They come in a really attractive envelope. There's a lot of, information inside the envelope. So you can, and it's got your access code on it. So you simply give it to someone, you ask them to watch it, and you call them back, a couple of days later and ask them if they're ready to get joined up. Simple as that. And we learned something. Oh, there's one more thing that's included there. You actually get an excellent little workbook which shows you exactly what to do, and that's delivered to you with the DVDs to your door. Okay, so you actually get a physical product landing up to your door. There is a small amount of postage and packaging to be paid depending on where in the world you live. Okay, so it is the perfect pack to get started off with. All right, and doesn't cost an arm and a leg, and it's a great place to begin if that's where you want to get started. All right. Now, like I say, it's absolutely wonderful. So go ahead and get that done. And Patrick, there was something else I was going to say, and I've completely forgotten now. I think I was going to answer one of the questions. Let me just ask.
Somebody asked where the $27 option is for top producer. Seems to me you don't see it until after you bought the first one, and then it's in the menu on the side.
Right, right. Yes, it does take you step by step. Um, I actually saw the whole thing in my sidebar. Paul, as far as I know, when you log into Empower Network, along the, let me get my hands right, along the left-hand side margin of your page, you'll have, activate this, etc. And
Yeah.
that's where it should be.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's where it is in mine. I didn't see that product when I first bought myself, and I got that, and I got the main top producer product, but I didn't see that option either. But when I logged in, it was in the menu off to the left, and I did want it because I know I wasn't going to be here all day, and frankly,
Mm, mm,
sitting and watching for 6 hours not stop isn't my cup of tea anyway. I'd I'd rather watch them at my convenience when and if in smaller chunks. So that to me was a better option anyway. But you need to get the one before the other one as
and
well.
you
Big
can
value
replay.
though, and I've got the again about the main product as well. So and sold
Mm,
it multiple times, and that's one of the benefits of Empower Network.
yeah,
If you become an affiliate,
absolutely.
anything you buy, you can sell as much as you want.
Yeah. And on
You only
that
buy it
note,
once.
yeah. And on that note, Patrick, let me add to that starter pack. This is what I was trying to remember.
Okay.
The other thing that's included in the starter pack is your 1995 affiliate fee. Okay,
Right.
so if you put all of that together, the cost of the DVDs, etc., it adds up to the $197, and you make $125 every month when you sell that. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, Patrick, I will hand back to you in that case.
Yeah, yeah. So anybody who buy when you get the starter kit, you get 20 DVDs. If you give one out to somebody and they join, they'll
Yep.
pay the $197. You will make a $125 commission monthly recurring from the people that join. So simple as that. Um, and I won't get into more detail on the comp plan, but we talked about the comp plan in the
Yep.
videos last week too. Somewhere, by the way, I'm going to get a link or at least maybe a link to our Facebook page or YouTube channel so people can see old episodes, by the way, so that if they want to go back, there will be a spot where they can find them. We do have a YouTube channel. We'll put it there. And we may also set up a Facebook page for anybody who watches these so then you can get notification of new next events and things like that and keep up to date with what's going on. So we may do that. We haven't done that yet, though. So I think that kind of covers it. We had a lot to cover today. iPass was new for everybody. Marion says she wants it maybe later next week. I'd take it tomorrow if I could have it.
Yes, I
But
agree with you. I do agree.
but I just think it's such a wonderful solution for so many people because it just makes the process easier to get people to do the $7 trial. When they see the videos that are part of the product in that trial, so far, well, we can tell you, so far the testing that was done, over 50% of the people that took the trial bought the product, right? And in fact, it may have been significantly over. We just heard those exact words. So that's pretty good. And when we also were getting a pretty staggering number of people buying the $7 trial that saw it from the traffic. So to us, this is a significant add-on extension, kind of advanced product to Empower Network. That's what I would call it, is a lead-in product. There are other lead-in products out there. We will say that this is much more significant than those products. There's much more to it. There is a there's a product. There is real training in this product. It's not just join something and get other people to join something and get other people to join something, and there's no something, which we've seen. This is a real thing. There's real training. There's been a massive amount of money invested in this system and in this platform, and they've gone through the entire full accreditation process with Empower Network and are fully accredited now to partner completely with them in advance of the launch. Okay, so there's no risk that way. We are doing this in a way that is totally above board with Empower Network, above board with the FTC to keep both Empower Network and an iPass system, completely clean and legal, and done in a professional, ethical way that uh, is pretty astounding, to be honest. And the cool thing is, the people that get the free account now are not even going to be paying the $47 a month, which we were a little surprised at. But so far, that's what we've been told, that they won't even be paying the monthly. It's just that when you start getting people in at the paid level later, as of the launch, those people will be paying the monthly, and you'll be making the 50 to 70% commission. So we highly, highly recommend people sign up for it while they can get it for free. I'd be honest, I'd rather sell it to people, but we just thought about it. We said, let's talk about it tonight while they can still get it for free, rather than wait till next week when people have to pay for it. So
Sure.
we hope.
Couple of questions, Patrick.
That. Sure.
I'll just get them answered here. Now I've got one here. I'm sorry. It says I Flint. It'll be so great if you'll actually put your names in there. Then we can recognize you all. I hate not knowing people's names. It's so I feel rude, but basically, when I don't know the answer to that one, right? I know you can. Get the $27 product, etc., because obviously I've got it, but I don't know how it's going to happen for non-Empower Network people, because I know that this particular product is generic. So how that's going to happen, I don't know, but there is a way. There is a way that that's going to happen. All right.
Bill Thompson is on here. Bill's in Scotland. Hi, Bill. Thank you. He went through the sales funnel, and he found the $27 product was actually the last thing offered. It was offered after the VIP coaching video.
Linda, thank you, Linda. Great. And Werner's question, when we get the free product, will we also have access to the videos? Yeah, it's amazing, because that's the system. The videos, the system is driven by the videos. Okay.
Yes.
And all of us who have the free system, have the free product, we will have to go through all those videos. First of all, to at the benefit to ourselves, to really know what the system is going to do and the power that the system is going to have when your prospects see them. Okay,
yeah.
You owe it to yourself to go through each of those videos carefully and set your system up as you're going. So put aside time to do that, and then it'll all happen from there. The magic starts to happen. All right.
I'll clarify one more thing on that, Marion. When people sign up for iPass free now, the videos there are ones that have been there for months. That was kind of the initial free offer, and they've kept that open. So the videos you're going to see in that today are not the ones that will be in the production product next week.
No.
You won't see those videos until the production product launches next week. But they're going to be free for you then, okay? Just to make that point clear. So the benefit to signing up now is it's free. The benefit of the launch next week is it's totally changed and with these amazing videos as part of it, and those videos will sell for you. You bring people into the cycle at the free product, I'd be floored that if you can sell a high percentage of those people at the end of the trial. So, let's see, anything else? Good, thank you, Bill. Winifred, thank you very much, appreciate it. Nothing like getting some nice feedback live.
Yeah.
Hope we're good. And just double checking, we are okay. So I think that covers it, guys. We knew that was a lot. We were a little concerned about covering that much in one night, but it's really there's 3 steps. Sign up for the free iPass. If you want the top producer training, it's a great value at $17. Get it there. And then if you're not in Empower Network at all, get a starter kit and join us, okay? Because that's where frankly, the big money is. So we think you will enjoy it, and we will be covering a little bit about that every week on these trainings. So that's it. That's a lot for this week. Tomorrow, Marion and I are back in training ourselves for our
Yep.
coaching, and
Thank you. Mm.
we are ready to roll pretty much. But we're looking forward to having our training done, and really looking forward to starting the live coaching through the process there too. So that's it. Thank you again for everybody, Marion. I appreciate it a
You're
lot. It
so
was so
welcome,
wonderful to
Patrick.
have you on these. I love the idea of you a guest host with me all the time,
Thank you.
or co-host, I mean. And you know what? We're getting a lot of good feedback. Now we have to spread the word a bit, and we'll ask everybody else who likes these Hangouts to do it themselves. And if you're an Empower Network affiliate already, all you have to do is share our link with your ID at the end. And if there are sales happen, you're going to get those sales. So we're working for you for when you start promoting it and joining us as well. Okay, so everybody have a great, fun week. We're getting back to our coaching, and we'll see you next Wednesday and or before in iPass. All the best, everyone. Have a great
Thank you,
week. Thanks,
Patrick.
Marion.
Good night, all. Good
Okay.
night.
Good night. Bye-bye.